Hey, hey, hey! I am so excited because I am home, okay? I have been gone. This has been such a long day. I left in the 7 o'clock hour this morning. I came home for a little bit because I had some stuff to do, and I am now just getting back home from the library. I went to go see Jen Sincero, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I always say it wrong because it doesn't look like Sincero, but it's Sincero. And for those of you who may not know her, she is a New York Times bestseller. She wrote the book You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. So this is her first book, but she has some other ones that talks about badassery. One is about money, and the other one is being a badass every day. That's the newer one that she was reading from tonight. But it was really so good to hear her because it's not like she said anything that I hadn't heard before. It was just different, but it resonated with me and it reminded me of some things that I kind of forgot. So I just want to share a little bit of what she shared. And not that I forgot, I shouldn't even say that, but it was just a good reminder, put it that way, because I do know this stuff and it's the stuff that I coach on and it's the practices that I try to have for myself. But we always need to be reminded. But she talked about three areas of remembering. I don't remember why we were talking about remembering, but just three things to remember as you go through life. And one is that you have a choice to choose a better thing to focus on. You have a choice to choose a better thing to do. You have a choice to choose a better person to be. That was number one. And when she said that, it reminded me of what I always say to people. I don't remember where I heard it, but it's every experience is neutral. You get to choose whether it's good or bad. Rather, you get to decide. So every experience is neutral, but you get to decide whether it's good or bad. So even though things may seem bad, you can choose to make it seem good. So, say for instance, you have a failure. You don't have to look at it as bad. You can look at that experience instead of being a failure as a lesson. You get to decide that because there's something that happens. When you look at it as a failure, then you have low energy vibration. You have shame, you have judgment, you have guilt, maybe, but things that don't serve you, this low energy vibration. But if you look at it as a lesson, then you say, I learned something. And then that could be something that's joyful, that's going to bring you to a higher vibration. And so that can bring me to the second point because she talked about how we are energetic creatures living in an energetic world. So I don't know your beliefs, but I know that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. But in this human experience, it is energy. We are all energy. And so she talked about that. So remembering that you are energetic. And so because of that, you can attract things based on the vibrational level that you're on. So if you're up here with joy, happiness, love, you can attract all that. But when you're down here low with the shame, guilt, doubt, fear, that's what you're going to attract. So I always tell people try to be in tune to the things that bring you to the higher vibration. And the third thing that she talked about is something that's going to happen for all of us. We are all going to die. But it's not that we need to focus on. We need to focus on how we're going to live. If we know we're going to die and we don't know when we're going to die, how do I want to live? And that will help you know that you don't have time to play. Like, you don't know how long your life is. And in this one life that we get, you need to make the most of it. Don't defer the dreams that you want. Don't keep putting them on hold. You can't do that because you don't know if tomorrow is promised to you. You don't even know if this next moment is promised to you. And so I just want to share that with you. Let me see what else she talked about. She said being alive is a near death experience, that we do not need to play it safe. I love the way she phrased that. Being alive is a near death experience because we're all going to die. Okay. she talked about, you know, I love the Williamson quote from her book, A Return to Love, where she talks about that we're all meant to shine. But a lot of times we don't shine. And the reason is because we don't want to disappoint others. Sometimes if our light is so bright, it blinds other people. And then we feel bad, so we dim it a little bit so that they are not blinded, right? When the reality is that we do not need to focus on what somebody else's judgment is of us. That's their thing, not ours. Like, we are supposed to be the light. We are supposed to shine. We can't shrink for the sake of someone else. We have to live our life as big, as full, as bright as possible. So I just wanted to remind you of that. And I will say this too, because she was telling the story, and I'm not going to go into the story because it takes a while. But the end result is that judgment doesn't matter if you're happy. Who cares what somebody else thinks if you're over here happy? We only get this one life. Now, mind you, your happiness doesn't have to be at the expense of someone else, right? But in the same regards, you have to make sure that you're being true to the essence as to can't even talk. The essence as to who you are. Okay? She talked about fear. She talked for an hour, so it's a lot of things that she talked about. I didn't take as many notes as I wanted to because I was sitting there taking off words, listening to the words. And plus, she answered a lot of questions, so it was kind of like a coaching session. But she talked about fear being a compass, and I'm sure you all know that the fear kind of guides you and tell you where you should go, where you shouldn't go. However, sometimes fear is there thinking it's protecting you, but it's also paralyzing you because now it's not allowing you to go beyond what you know. Fear tends to creep in when you're in the unknown, when you're going to a place that you don't or hadn't experienced before. So one of the things that I always talk about is take fear along with you. But what she said is that if you do have fear, you want it to be equal part of terror, or excitement. Well, and excitement. So you want it to be balanced. So you want to have terror over here and excitement over here. Okay? And she talked about when you're on the road to greatness, that you have to treat it like you do when you're in a gym and you're exercising. It's something you have to work at all the time. So, you go to the gym, you do a whole bunch of push-ups, you do some sit-ups, you run, and you do this good for about a year, and now you're in the best shape you've ever been in. Do you stop working out now that you're where you want to be? No, you continue to work out so that you don't go back to what you used to be. That's the same thing you have to do when you're on the road to greatness. When you're changing your mindset, you have to make sure that you do not go back to the patterns that you had before, because those patterns would take you back to the same results that you had before, and that's not where we're trying to go. We're trying to grow, evolve, flourish, thrive, whatever the word is that you want to use. That's what we're trying to do. And so she talks about ways to do that. Meditation is one, having a mastermind, reading books, attending seminars, having a coach, and also being energized by good music that makes your soul stir, right? So the ones that pumps you up. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have to share. It was fun hearing her and getting a chance to meet her and getting my book signed by her. She told me, so great to meet your sunny self, and I'm glad that I was able to be a light to her today. But I did give her, if I'd had a book, I would have given her one. But I did not have a book with me today. Who does that? I don't know what I was saying. I had my backpack, but not a book. I had my Think and Grow Rich book, and I had this book inside of it. But I did not have my own personal book. But I did give her my card that has my book picture on it, and told her I was an author and a coach as well, because she does coaching. But it was just really great to be in a room of people with such great energy. It is something to be said when everybody is on the same level, and that level is way up here, right? So we don't want to be down here, but up here. And so it was just a good time. But anyway, that is it. I will be back to talk about Think and Grow Rich because this week's chapter is about mastermind. It's a quick chapter, so it's not going to be much that I say, but it's just going to let you know that you can't do it alone. Not all the time. You don't have all the knowledge to be able to achieve and get to the place where you need to go. So that will be coming up soon. I'm not promising the day because it's gonna happen, but I just don't know when. I'm hoping by tomorrow is a little more flexible. I had something on the books that I have to cancel, so I'm hoping that I have a little bit of time to do this. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully, you're having a great week, and I will be back with you. It's just not going to be tonight. I don't know when it's going to be, but I can tell you it's not going to be tonight. I am tired. As I said, it's been a long day and I am just ready to wind down and call it a night. But I will be back with energy, ready for you all, talking about Think and Grow Rich. This will be, I think, our ninth one, and I think we have to go to 14. So we have about 5 more weeks to go. All right. Bye bye. My light went out. Bye. That's telling me it's time to go.